Hey, welcome back in. It is The Scoop, episode number 2 of 2025. Welcome back in. It's a show all about baseball. We're going to be going into 30 teams in 30 seconds each, recapping what's happened over the last week. We're also going to talk a little bit about a couple of different topics. Just a two-part episode today. Thank you guys for all being here. Stick around if you want to hear all of that and more coming up on The Scoop. Here's Sam Napoli with you today, running it solo. No one to help today, but just a two-parter. We got 30 and 30, which we're going to be doing every week. Comes out on YouTube on Monday as well. We did have to pre-record this episode once again instead of going live. Live normally Sundays at 7 p.m. The team was not available for tomorrow night, so today we are pre-recording. Lots kind of happened. The standings are drunk, really, especially in the American League. We've had some shifts go on over in the eastern part of the American League. So we're going to talk all about it. It's all brought to you by SeatGeek. Code Sentry17 grabs yourself $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. I have the Phillies game going on over to my right. It's only 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock now. So here on Saturday. So this is not all of these standings are going to be completely up to date, especially you guys who are over there on YouTube, but it is just what we're going to have to roll with here today. Thank you all for being here. Welcome in. Follow Sentry Baseball and The Scoop on all the socials down in the description, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys all for being here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into 30 teams in 30 seconds each. We'll bring it up real quick. 30 seconds on the clock, and the timer starts now with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Last time we talked, they were right at 500. They've fallen below 43 and 45. Not much is really going right with this team. Pitching continues to be an issue. Corbin Carroll, we talked about it, back on the IL. It's a lot of the same with this team. Ketel Marte is kind of balling out for them, but he's been hurt for the beginning of the year. Came back now, and just not a lot really going on for this team. They're pretty mid. They should sell at the deadline, capitalize on that. Eugenio Suarez is having a really, really nice year for them. Let's go ahead and let's move on. The Atlanta Braves, another team that just kind of is, they're on the struggle bus, man. They've fallen back to 4th in the division. Also, a team is very red hot in that division right now. It's overtaken them. They're 39 and 48. That's 9 below 500. We're waiting for them to turn it around. I don't think it's just going to happen at all. Schwellenbach goes to the IL now too. Nothing is really helping out this team as we talk about it right now. The Braves are in shambles. What do? Do they sell off pieces like Ozuna? I don't know. It's a topic for another day. Let's move on. Baltimore, another team that's just not really doing much better. 38 and 49. As far as I know, Adley Rutschman still remains on the IL. Gunnar Henderson's starting to go for them a little bit, but the pitching continues to be an issue. They got to look to trade O'Hearn, Mullins, maybe Felix Bautista at this deadline. O'Hearn, we're having a really nice year. He is their all-star, but just another team where what even went wrong with this team? It's the pitching, we all know, but how do you let that happen to something like that? Jackson Holliday having a nice year. Let's move on to the Red Sox. They are really not much better. I mean, I guess 6 games. 5 games in the standings. They're 44 and 45, right around 500. Trying to piece together scrappy wins. Another team that probably needs to look to sell off some pieces. If you plan on extending Bregman long term, then keep him around. He's going to opt out probably, even though AAV is so high, because he could get a long-term deal. He's still hurt, hasn't really come back yet. So maybe Duran. Duran might be an expendable piece, but Aroldis Chapman definitely is going to be going. Let's move on. The Chicago Cubs have found themselves back into the second-best record in the National League, 53 and 35. They are 7-3 in their last 10, and they are winners of 4 straight. A team that right now, offense is just clicking on all cylinders. You got 2 absolute studs right now in PCA and Kyle Tucker. Seiya Suzuki is that nice supplementary piece that's just having it all come together. And really, even their guys who are on the back end of that lineup having really solid years. You think of guys like, not Mike Talkman, I can't think of his name, first baseman right now. Super sorry about that one, but let's go ahead and let's move on. 30 seconds goes by quick. Chicago, the White Sox. If you watch the mock draft, you know that I have them taking Ike Irish in the draft this coming up Sunday. They have the 10th pick. That's probably the thing they're most excited for right now. I mean, they're still bad. 29 and 59 is pretty horrible. I believe that's second worst in baseball. And just not a lot going on with this team. We're not even going to take 30 seconds. Let's move on. The Reds, they're playing the Phillies right now, actually. They're actually playing solid baseball this last little while. 46 and 42, but they're still fourth in their division because that NL Central playing really well right now. They got guys who are going for them, and Nick Martinez has finally found another gear. They've got a full rotation full of guys. Chase Burns is in it now. Offensively, Austin Hayes is back off the IL, and he's producing. Ellie De La Cruz is your superstar to build around. They have a top 10 pick this coming week as well. Interested to see what they do there. The Guardians, this is a team that is struggling right now. They have lost 8 in a row as of right now. 40 and 46, a team that I said their lack of depth in the starting pitching is going to come back and bite them, and look at that. It has. Finally right about something on this channel. It's Cleveland being bad. 1 and 9 in their last 10. Fourth in the division. They've fallen below the Royals, who are on a struggle bus of their own. Just not a lot going on with this team. Jose Ramirez, really good, but other than that, just not much with this Cleveland Guardians organization. The Rockies, I don't even want to talk about this team. They're so bad. 20 and 68. Are you serious right now? 2 and 8 in their last 10. I guess it's a little bit better. Not really, but Hunter Goodman having a nice year. Shout out to you. Let's move on. The Tigers have found themselves still with that best record in the American League, 55 and 34. No longer the best in baseball, but just continuing to play solid baseball. Kerry Carpenter pulled his hamstring a week ago. Actually, I'm not completely sure what ended up happening with that. I don't believe he went on the IL, but I don't believe he's played a ton recently. Gleyber Torres starting the All-Star game. Javi Baez, which is awesome. I love that for them. A lot of guys just having really nice years for them, and they've been a powerhouse all year. Let's move on. Houston also playing some of the best baseball around. 8 and 2 in their last 10. 53 and 35 is good for second in the American League. One of the best records in baseball. They just continue to do it. Jordan's not even back yet. They had a pretty big setback with him this week, though, too. So that's something to keep an eye out for, is when will he be returning? Because if they want to make a deep playoff run, he's going to be pretty critical to that. Jeremy Pena went on the IL since when we talked last. That was a week ago. So, yeah, not great news for them. Still playing great baseball. The Royals, who we talked about, not really playing super great. Vinny Pasquantino has been hot recently, but they're 4 and 6 in their last 10. They're 5 games below 500. Third in their own mediocre division. I guess maybe it's the worst division in baseball, but yeah, Bobby Wood Jr. is just not having a superstar type year like normal. I should say like last year, and that's really hurting them. Caglione really has not been what they needed because you can't rely on that guy to carry your offense. Let's move on. Michael Garcia having a nice year. The Angels were playing pretty nice baseball. They've stayed right around 500. Ron Washington out for the year, we know, but they're just 1 game below 500. Mike Trout's back. He's healthy. He's playing for them. They're 9.5 out of their division. I guess they're a few games out of a wild card, so they're very much in the mix. They got to choose whether they're going to go ahead and sell some pieces at this deadline or if they're just going to stay put and not really do much with any of that. But let's go ahead and let's move on. The Dodgers have found themselves with the best record in baseball, 56 and 33. They're 8 and 2 in their last 10. Max Muncy has just gone nuclear for them these last couple of weeks. Excuse me. And the normal suspects are still there. Mookie not really having a great year, kind of pretty sneakily not having a very good year. Started out with that sickness and just hasn't really been the same ever since. So maybe something to look out for there. But Shohei got his 4th start this week coming up as well. So that's just another problem that MLB is going to have to deal with. Let's move on. The Marlins may be baseball's hottest team right now. They are 8 and 2 in their last 10. They're now 8 games below 500, 39 and 47. Third in the division, only 11 back. But no, in all seriousness, Agustin Ramirez is a baller for this team. He is carrying their offense right now. Otto Lopez had a really nice little stretch here as well. And they might be something dangerous to look out for. Those are a couple of guys who are probably going to be around. They may look to move on from Lopez, but we will see. Let's move on. The Brewers have kind of stayed right about where they were. They're 4 out of the division, 49 and 39, just playing really good baseball right now. Not a ton really to say about this team. It's the same old all the time. Mizorowski kind of got gotten to for the first time in his last start, so not untouchable, but he's still pretty good. Let's move on from them. The Twins are just disappointing. Like another team I just don't really feel like talking about. 4 games below 500. Byron Buxton's playing really well for them. Sell him while his value is at its highest. He's finally healthy. He's finally very tradable. Let's go ahead. Let's move on from him. Let's move on from Rocco Baldelli at the end of this year. There's no reason to have him around anymore, in my opinion. It's been like that for a few years now, too. So let's do that. And let's move on to the Mets. They are actually only a half game out of the division right now. They have won the first two against the Yankees. I think that the third one right now is going on. Let me check the score of that. As of right now, the Mets are leading the Yankees as well, so they might sweep that. That is a team that is struggling right now, which we're going to get to them very soon. But only a half game out of the division. They're playing fine baseball. They need starting pitching pretty badly, and it's probably not going to happen until the deadline. But Lindor starting the All-Star game. The Yankees, where to even begin with this team? I could talk about this team for 10 minutes, and we will be talking about them in the second part of this show, so we don't need to go too much into them. All you need to know is they have been losing 5 in a row. They just got the business in 4 games from the Blue Jays the other day, and the Mets are giving it to them as well. It's been a really bad stretch for this Yankees team. Anything that can go wrong will. It may be time to move on from Volpe. That's a hot take. Let's get to that in a little bit. And let's move on. My Phillies just playing pretty good baseball. Just a team that deserves a shot at this deadline. Dombrowski needs to do something with that. First in the division, 51-37. You take that any day of the week. Bryce is back off the IL. He is playing. Trey Turner having a really nice year for them. The rotation is nice. The Luzardo experiment is not working. Abel gets sent down. It may be time to go ahead and bring up Andrew Painter, see what he's got to be the 5th starter, like I've always dreamed of. Let's move on. The Pittsburgh Pirates, another team that's actually playing pretty well. 7-3 in their last 10. They had won 6 in a row at one point. 38-51, still in last place of that NL Central because it's really the best division around right now. Not much to say about this team. They've got the number 6 pick coming up this Sunday. We'll see what they do with that. I have them taking a high school prospect, high school shortstop, I should say. I kind of forgot who, but in my mock, go check that out later. Let's move on. The Sacramento A's, or the Athletics, if you will, they're still last in the AL West. It's pretty bad. So they're 37-53. Their pitching is a serious issue that they need to invest in this coming offseason, whether that's through trade, whether that's through the draft in a couple of days. Pitching is an issue. They've got so many nice young ball players on the position player side of things. Nick Kurtz has been a baller for a while now. Jacob Wilson starting the All-Star game. Super awesome. Let's move on. The Padres, they're second in their division, 47-40. They're kind of middling. They've kind of been right at 500 for well over a month now, maybe even like closer to 2 months. 8 games out of the division, so that's not really in reach right now. And only a game above those Giants, which we'll get to pretty soon. They just came to Philly, so I got to watch this team play a little bit. Manny's having a pretty nice year. It's just kind of a couple of just like weird veterans that just found their way onto this team, like Iglesias. I don't even know, just like a makeshift lineup. Let's move on to those Giants. They're 5 games above 500, 47-42. I feel like they find ways to lose games more than they find ways to win. They kind of have all the makings of a team that's going to end the year right at 500. I can just kind of feel it. Devers is in the fold, but they obviously need to add some kind of starting depth because Logan Webb is having his best year. He's just started striking people out, which has never been his calling card. But all of a sudden he is. Giants are playing pretty well right now. They're kind of a fringe playoff team. Let's move on. The Mariners, they actually have the number 3 pick this coming week, kind of sneaky. They're 4 above 500, 7 games out of the division, so they're into a wild card spot in the American League, but not by much. It's a team that needs offense pretty badly. We'll see where they draw it from at the deadline because they always make a move for someone, but it never ends up working too well for them. Last year, Victor Robles, that was a good one, but other than that, not much. Draw from your pitching. Make a move that benefits both sides if you're the Mariners. Let's move on. Cardinals have kind of they've just been playing good baseball. 47-42. They just won't really go away. Yeah, Nolan Arenado's like hitting 6 for this team. Nolan Gorman hit an absolute tank earlier today. That was pretty fun to watch, but I like this team. They're scrappy. They have a bunch of guys who like all got called up in like 2021 or 2022 and are just kind of balling for them right now, and I really like that for them. Sonny Gray had a really nice start last week, but yeah, they need to add probably a starting pitcher or two if they want to really compete this year. Let's move on to the Rays. The Rays also just playing really good ball. They're 2 games out of the division right now because Toronto has the lead. They're tied with the Yankees as of right now. 48-40, and we just don't even know if they're going to do it at the deadline. Will they do that weird thing where they kind of sell because they don't really feel like having old players on their team? I don't know. I think they're going to trade Pete Fairbanks just because it doesn't make any sense, and it's the Rays, if that makes any sense. 5-5 in their last 10. They're playing fine right now, but really been hot for the last month or two as a whole. The Texas Rangers find themselves fourth place in the American League West, 43-45, a couple below 500. Marcus Semien starting to get it going. Seager was. This pitching staff is unreal. The lineup is just atrocious. All these guys they banked on from that 2023 year, another one has gone down. Josh Young to the minor leagues. It's been bad. This is happening left and right with these guys. It was Evan Carter before that, and now we got Josh Young going down. Wyatt Langford is hurt right now on the IL as well. Let's move on. Their 30 seconds is up. The Blue Jays have been absurdly hot as of recently. They are in first place in the AL East. Who would have thought that was even possible before the year? 50-38, 8-2 in their last 10. They are winners of 6 straight. They gave the Yankees the 4-game business this week up in Toronto. So, just playing really well, and there's no pressure for them to win this year. They could stay put, and everyone would be fine with it because Vladdy just got locked up long term. You're in a great spot if you're the Blue Jays right now. Last but not least, the Washington Nationals. They are last in the NL East. Their pitching has been getting absolutely lit up. They have the first overall pick in this coming draft. What they're going to do with that, I think Cade Anderson. Go check out the mock draft. Makes more sense for them to grab a pitcher, especially one who's going to be ready sooner rather than grabbing Ethan Holiday, who I think is a little bit overrated. That's neither here nor there. This team is just not very good. A lot of really nice players on the position player side. Robert Hassel's in AAA. Saw him play the other day here in Buffalo. But that's neither here nor there as well. And that is 30 teams in 30 seconds here in the Major League Baseball. Whew. Tell you what, that's an exhausting one to do. It's all brought to you by SeatGeek. Code Sentry17 grabs yourself $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. Now we can sit back and just let's chat. There's one topic I want to go over a good bit, and that would be really the AL East as a whole, more the Yankees. What is going on with this team? I mean, just a weird, sudden collapse over the last week or two where they've fallen out of first place. Falling out of first place. Kind of teams we thought would be mediocre at best have overtaken them in the AL East, like the Blue Jays. That series we were like, oh, it's going to be super pivotal. It's going to be a fun one. No, they got absolutely owned in Toronto. They lose the division lead. They've got the Rays tied with them now, too. Holes everywhere on this team. It is getting to the point where it may be time to find someone new for shortstop. I mean, Anthony Volpe is absolutely atrocious out there, and his bat is nothing special either. People are saying, let's go and get a third baseman. You might need to go get a shortstop, which is funny because they might just bring back IKF as a supplementary piece, split some time with Volpe, which I wouldn't even hate it, but I think Eugenio Suarez is a clear fit for them there. But they need someone who's a more consistent hitter. Jazz Chisholm is balling for this team. Aaron Judge is the MVP. We know this. But, man, oh man, starting depth is a issue. Will Warren has just been getting rocked left and right. Once he actually puts a couple of starts together, it just all was for none. It all goes away. It's a team that just looks lost right now. I mean, they're in the World Series last year. I mean, they lose Juan Soto, and obviously that would help them right about now, but that's not even the biggest issue. Some starting pitching depth and a shortstop are their biggest issue. Maybe add a reliever, but I think their bullpen is fine. It's tough. Tough stretch for those Yankees. Blue Jays just happen to be red hot at the same time. Same as the Rays for like a couple of months now. They've been red hot. So, bad time for the Yankees. This deadline is going to be critical for them because, I mean, they're in a window where they've got the best player on the planet, and he's only getting older. How long can he play at this level? I don't know if too long is really the answer. And you got guys who are playing really well for you as well. Having Garrett Cole would be really nice right about now. Max Fried finally lets a couple of runs and they just can't win it all. So rough if you're the Yankees in that case. As far as another topic, if there's another team that we want to talk about, anything different. Let's find one more team to just get some thoughts on. As Edmundo Sosa just went over to right field. Ooh. Sorry about that. That was nice. Get around that ball. Edmundo, nice. Let's talk about Let's talk about the Mets. Let's do the other New York team because they had been struggling. We talked about them a little bit last week. They had been struggling pretty badly. They're only a half game out of the NL East right now, so they're just not going away. We know that the starting pitching is an issue. They need to grab a starter or 3 at this deadline, but their lineup's going to be fine. It's filled with guys all over. Brendan Nimmo hit a grand slam today. It's not like the lineup is going to be an issue. You're going to find stuff there. I guess you could try to add a right-handed bat. Pete Alonso's having a silly good year. It just Freddie Freeman happens to be playing in the same league, so he's not the all-star starter. But, Pete Alonso's, I cannot stand the guy as a player. He's super funny as a guy. I like the guy. I don't like the player. But, man, oh, man, is he balling this year. And he's hitting for average this year, which, this is something we've never really seen. Contact hitter Pete, who's still driving in runs at a ridiculous rate. He's got to opt out. He's got to grab a new contract again. That's off-season stuff, but man, oh man. A couple of New York teams that overall over the last couple of weeks just not really playing super well. This deadline is going to be huge. We'll do a deadline preview in a couple of weeks, and we're going to do a tier list when it comes to that as well. So make sure you guys are here for that. Next week is going to be some draft stuff, probably a pre-recorded episode again next week, and then we're going to be live for the MLB draft as well. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Thank you guys all for being here on the Scoop. Shorter episode today. Most of our segments ended up getting cut out, but thank you all for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. 30 and 30 will be out on Monday. Edit it down a little bit as well, and those topics will be clipped out as well. Make sure you check out the mock draft. Came out when you're seeing this yesterday. When I'm recording this, came out today. First 10 picks I predicted for the MLB draft coming up this Sunday. Hope you guys all have a great day. Sam Napoli saying so long.